Good evening, everybody. So we are back with some more Nemesis. Now, you may notice we have a slightly different map. That's right, I actually did restart. Now, I had, one of my motivations was obviously we wanted this, which we seem to have now. Amazing. It took quite a lot to find one, actually, like a Zeroni start. A lot of time. I got unlucky, but I re-rolled and re-rolled and re-rolled, and bam, here we are. I really want to showcase this particular storyline because it fits really well with us when we like religious and master psychic powers and that kind of thing. But it's also one of my favorite stories in Stellaris. It's actually legitimately good writing. Like it's emotional. Like it's got a full the hero's journey. It's great. So I want to show it off. Oh god. Great way to start the episode, but the other reason though, because if it was just this, I probably would have kept that perfect planet start. But there was one other reason, and it's I forgot a Nemesis feature, and I really want to showcase it, and I had totally missed it. So what feature am I talking about? Well, we go over here, we zoom in on our starbase. Looks kind of different, right? Yeah, Nemesis actually has a hidden... I call it hidden. I mean, it's not like you have to unlock it or anything special. They never showed it. Like in any of the early streams, they didn't make a big deal about it in like the art Bible or anything. Or the art development log. Like, they hid this, which I don't know why they would. It's fantastic. It's the Imperial ship set. I mean, look at it. Ooh. And so, I really want to, just have a chance to look at it in all its glory. Ooh. Look at it. It's so cool. And it almost looks a little bit steampunky. like the little turbines and stuff. But it also reminds me a little bit of the Klingons, or maybe like the Imperium of Man. Not so much that, but I definitely get some Klingon vibes from this, and a little bit of the Empire from Star Wars. Not as much as I would have thought, though, with it being called quote unquote Imperial build set, but that's fine. But yeah, I totally forgot about this because, to be fair, they kind of hid it from people. And I want to show it off. So I figured, well, you know what? We're talking about restarting anyway. I might as well see if I can get the Zeroni thing going on. And here we are. It took me... 3 hours of restarting. I mean, it was fine. I had a little podcast going on in the background, so I was doing something, but those kind of grinds I don't love doing, but at the same time I love giving you guys the best possible content I can manage. So I'm super excited. We managed to also, even better, this start, we haven't had any first contacts yet. So one thing I was worried about was if I'm doing all this work off camera, you might miss some of the first contact stuff. And I'll tell you what, it's really good storytelling. The first contact stuff is probably one of the best new features I've seen added to Stellaris in a DLC. It's the early game definitely needed a little something extra, and man, you can't tell I snapped and I blew a kiss. It's just I really like the first contact stuff. I don't know why it did. But, they said their goal was they wanted the very early part of the game to feel more momentous, and they smashed it out of the park. So far, and I haven't even gotten, any of the cool, endgame features of Nemesis. I'm really liking what they've done with the early game, though. So, based on just that alone, I'm giving this, a B+. It'll probably bump up higher as we go along. Also, I already in my mind should be maybe an A- because most DLC does not give you a new ship set, and these guys did. We should look at the science ship too while we're at it, which I feel is kind of awesome. I'm really ooh, this design is cool as hell too. Yeah, that's very cool. And I feel like it fits the Yilkahan or whatever we're called pretty well, because they were kind of based on the Klingons, and I mean, not just kind of based on. I mean, look, we got the forehead. It is a Klingon, like. That's actually like originally this was gonna be the Klingons, and the reason I chose Doomsday is that actually happened to the Klingon homeworld. They were using some new kind of bomb to mine one of the moons of their main homeworld, and they ended up blowing up their moon or melting it or something crazy. And because they lost it, Kronos, which I think was Kronos the moon or was Kronos their main? I think Kronos. I used to know I was a real Trekkie when I was a kid because I was obsessed, so obsessed with Deep Space Nine. And Voyager. Later on, I watched like the rest of the series as well, but those two, God, like I learned how to like program my VCR clock just so that it would be able to record Voyager, because Voyager was on at midnight, and I couldn't stay up that late as a kid. So yeah, I'm a big Trekkie. So yeah, I think it's Kolnos or something. Did I already get it signed? I already got one signed ship ordered up. Okay, good. But yeah, like Kolnos was destroyed. Alien remnants that were recently studied. These leavings are considered definitive proof of intelligent, purposeful alien activity at some point in the past. We may still be alone now, but we are at least not the first to be so. Remarkable. Planetary Anomalia. Oh, I love how I do want to read this because like I haven't really played Spiritual Empires, and it's great. The priesthoods, like instead of scientists, they have priests and diviners. It's like I don't think a species this religious would have ever made it to the stars, but man, they did the Klingon thing. The way the Klingons made it is basically what happened was some aliens that were happy-go-lucky, like star travelers, thought, oh, maybe let's be friendly and nice and land on the Klingon homeworld. And the freaking Klingons said, gee, nice starship you got, kill them and steal it. And that's how the Klingon Empire got started. Also, the Klingon mythology is great. They killed their gods in their own mythology. Basically, like, in Klingon mythology, the gods like all get together and say, okay, let's make the Klingons. And they made the Klingons, and the Klingons were like, okay, cool, can you guys fight? And the gods were like, yeah, sort of. He's like, yeah, but I really like fighting. I'm very fighty. And the gods start getting a little nervous, and we're like trying to keep the Klingons down. They're like, look, stop fighting so much, stop being so warlike. We don't need that. Until finally, Kalis, who in the mythology, wait, was it Kalis? It might not have been Kalis. Kalis was definitely the founder of the Klingon Empire. I know that. I don't think he was the first Klingon who attacked the gods. I don't know. So in Klingon mythology, the point is basically like imagine, their version of the Garden of Eden, and instead of Adam getting, kicked around by God and told, okay, you were bad, you were very bad, Adam and Eve, and kicked out of the garden, imagine Adam, like, stabbing God and then, like, taking over the garden. Because that's what Klingon mythology is. Right? We're so violent, so angry, we killed our gods, and we don't even care about it. It's amazing. I love the Klingons, but yeah, like Star Trek TNG, The Next Generation was another big show. All three of those came out right around the same time. Like I watched the reruns of TNG while I was watching Voyager at night, and then Deep Space Nine was ongoing too. And oh my God, they're so they shaped like my entire life. I'm not joking. Like so much of me becoming a big science fiction nerd is because I got so obsessed with those three shows. And they're so good. I do like the original series as well, and I even like Enterprise. Shock of all shocks. Like, some people hated that one, and okay, the beginning was ridiculous, right? It was just like, I don't know. Like they had like a lube scene where they were like in the shower lubing up for some reason. Like it really felt like interference from the producers trying to make the show sexy instead of making it kind of about, adventure story. And finally, something happened, like season 3, where they realized, no, let's make this like an epic science fiction story like it's supposed to be. I think what happened was basically the producer said, okay, you got one more season, but then we're canceling the show. And it's tragic because, like, that's like the very last bit of Enterprise is, you could tell it was going to get really good. It was going to get like Deep Space Nine levels of long extended stories, and all this stuff. Like even the temporal Cold War, which people think was stupid, kind of like was starting to work at that point because they were getting the Xindi. Oh God, I just realized I've been talking about Trek for almost 20 minutes. Welcome to VanillaMidnight, where Stuart just bees a nerd. Okay, so let's get on to our actual show, huh? Instead of like gushing about how amazing Star Trek is. So the priesthoods on Kazan had a generally favorable reaction to the reports of complex yet dumb organisms found on alien planets. Rude. The findings did spark some interdoctrinal debate. Is this proof that the Yokahans are the lords of all within creation? Or have we simply not yet encountered our brethren from beyond the void? I do like that they're kind of like, they're dealing with the question of what would a religious society do in a first contact situation if their doctrine was like, well, we were created in the image of God and all that. Like, I think it'd be tough for these kind of civilizations. Now, originally, I went like, let's be super aggressive. I found in the many attempts where I was trying to, basically, like, in the many attempts where I was trying to, like, find, a start like this, the few times, like, I played, like, longer into it, this really kind of, bit us on behind. I don't know. Like, I never really seem to get the abduction and dissection options that often because you need a military. It's like you have to send military escorts to follow your science ships, which is weird, and I don't know if I like that. Otherwise, you don't get to trigger any of the aggressive policies, and also, it basically means that whoever I act aggressively towards will declare war on me when I complete first contact. And I don't know if I particularly want that immediately. Like, I feel like we could potentially win the war, but I'd like to at least know what I'm up against. And what if I got into a war with, like, something super serious, like a determined exterminator that already built a full fleet? Something like that. Well, I don't know. If it's a determined exterminator, we're probably going to be fighting anyway. What would a aggressive crusader spirit religious death cult really want to do? Sometimes you kind of think this version, right? The death cult would start acting like it was a normal thing and get people to side with them. On the other hand, if we're thinking more like Aztecs, like, we're going out there to find sacrifices. Like, we're not trying to, like, sort of sneak in the back door. We're like, aggressive from the get-go. I think we are going to have to be aggressive no matter what. Well, I don't know. Not necessarily. We do have a world we can colonize. It's not great, though, is it? I'm going to say that this alien species would feel pretty desperate, and they would be, very much trying to ensure their own survival, and I don't think they would want so much to be nice to things that they find out there.
Updated.
I don't think it's going to be like, oh, all aliens are heretics, but I also think that they would probably act more aggressively towards them in their panic. Because basically, like, the way I'm role-playing the Kazan, or whatever we're called, is they realize their world is about to fall to pieces. I actually figured out a way that might happen involving bolides and like, weird, like, mixtures of, I did a carbon world colliding into a silicon world to make, like, a really terrible geological situation. But that's all my little Doomsday science of Stellaris. I know I used to call it science and Stellaris, but I decided of makes a lot more sense. So you should check that out if you haven't seen it.
System survey complete.
Just saying. Let's see. The Damien system's been fully surveyed. And there's probably a link at the beginning of the episode. The reason I do kind of more minimum editing, it's a time thing, right? It's just, if I had a dedicated editor, it might be a different story, but since I don't, also we're going for supremacy straight away. I want all that good dosh. Very fast, very aggressive expansion, so we need ships on the cheap. Speaking of which, let me showcase what techs I picked. Oh, right. This one, I thought this one had the cheaper Corvettes, but it didn't. So I just went for kind of generic, like, up the research speed, get society research going faster so we can get psychic stuff faster. Also, so notice this, Fon Va. Okay, so Fon Va, and our leader of this death cult is, where's his name? Fon Voon. So I kind of want to say that Fon Va is his beloved daughter, who he's put in charge of something. I guess because she's like, yeah, she's a little genius, you know. She's like, her dad is quite proud of her. I like to imagine he's a single parent because like something happened with the mother. Like maybe the mother was one of the scientists who was studying the volcanoes and got. I'm making this scenario, but she got like caught in a volcanic eruption, and that's what drove Fon Voon. By the way, I'm writing down their names so that I can remember in the future. This is now canon. Fon Va, daughter of cult founder Fon Voon. So yeah, so when Fon Voon lost his beloved wife to a volcano eruption, a volcanic eruption, that's when he went down the path of saving his people through the power of sacrifice and became leader of the Yel-Kahan, the Dread Cardinal Fon Voon, leader of this crazy death cult. But yeah, like, he actually has pretty good traits. I hope that we can keep him around. Like, I think next election, if I have the influence, I will probably pump it into him a little bit. Because we get, like, election influence costs is super cheap. And I think that Fon Voon is great. He deserves at least 40 years of rule, if not longer. So, let's see, industrialist, monthly minerals plus 10%. I mean, maybe we change our government to make him emperor. I'm tempted now. But I think it would, like, give, like, a different heir apparent. Like, I don't think you can assign, like, in our headcanon, Fon Va is the heir apparent, right? Fon Va. So maybe we should get her elected and then make it a imperial thing. I mean, if that's a thing, maybe we'll do it. Something like that. Anyway, we've been paused for too long. Let's get going. I'm going to try to keep it on a little faster speed than I had it on in the first playthrough. Just because, like, we're at the point that is a possibility. Just in terms of, I've already, like, explained most of the main mechanics. I'm not going to be distracted by that, and we can just kind of cruise a little bit, you know? Yeah, our first playthrough, the xenocompatibility one, I think did a pretty good job of explaining most of the basic mechanics. So, at this point, folks don't need to worry about that so much. Like, they don't have to worry about me explaining it to them, I guess. Yeah, like I'm real excited for the start. It's in a good position for conquest and spreading out. We've got some black holes nearby. That'll be good end game, and some decent choke points and stuff too. So I'm feeling good. And we got our the super special
anomaly found.
Oops, I kind of I should research it. All right, you recruit. Perfect. We call Fen. Oh, and there's also another one. I saw you. It was one of these scientists on these ships. Fontoros. So maybe, let's see, age 42. How old is our leader? It's not realistic that he would be the father of Fontoros. So maybe Fontoros is his brother. That's the headcanon. Fontoros is the younger brother of Fonva. So now we have a succession crisis because Fontoros might be kind of like the trying to take over after his brother Von Voon's demise, but he's got the daughter. Well, let's see, age 30. She's kind of old too to be. It's technically possible, right? Like, oh no, he's 49. If she's 30, that means he could have been 19 when he had her. That's possible. Let's go with it. Like, my weird ideas. Okay, you definitely build this outpost because we need to get going on this mysterious ruins. Oh man, I'm happy to be back in some Stellaris. That is for sure. And I think I'm gonna film maybe like an hour. It's gonna be a longer episode because we're putting out some shorter episodes. I want to mix. I want some episodes that are an hour on the channel, and I want some around 30 minutes, and maybe some really quick ones. Like, I put out a couple of them. I hope you all didn't hate that dumb April Fool's joke, where it's like, look at this amazing achievement, and it's like literally the easiest achievement I've ever seen.
Construction complete.
Ooh, more. Let's see, excavate site. Give me more. Excellent. But I mean, whatever. It was April Fool's Day, and I know some people are really like stinky about April Fool's Day. Like, oh, you shouldn't do that. It's bad. And I don't know. I kind of like April Fool's Day. So long as it's not a nasty or mean thing. So I'm building a farm first. This is something else I've noticed. Like, farms do not give you enough food. Straight up. Like, they've really nerfed them. Significant scarring. Sure, that'll give us some bonus to research. But look, so farmer job. You only get 2 now per district. And so, like, that means if we go to where is the plant summary? Where does it show how much food we make? Well, -3 food. So, because each person eating uses, like, how much food does each person eat? Like, over 1. So, I don't know. It's, like, really, really hard to actually get enough food with the starting thing. And it might also be because stability is awful because we're about to lose our planet. But I'm not so sure about that. Let's see. So, if we make Queenus, or whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll reach over there, but I'm trying to pick like a good location for a capital. Like, if we put it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, so this would end up being the edge versus if we do settle Queenus. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, we could potentially grab these worlds as well in our main sector, while still having access to like 1, 2, 3, and possibly 4 out this way. Yeah, it's only size 10 though. That's a little tricky for a capital. That's very small. Oh, poop. That's bad too, huh? Because we won't be able to get rid of that. I wish there was a way that you could engineer, like, to get rid of weak magnetic fields and stuff. Because with fusion power, you probably could make an artificial magnetic field, protect the planet. I mean, it would be like from one single source. Unable. Oh, we ran out because I built the building. Fair enough. But what you could do is have a whole bunch of like little like magnetic field generators scattered around the surface of the planet, and it could still accomplish what a big magnetic field around the planet would do, just to keep out like dangerous radiation from space and that kind of thing. Because that's what they don't tell you about why Mars is like maybe not the best place to live. The magnetic field is almost non-existent. Like the core of the planet has basically cooled, and you need hot metals flowing in order to generate magnetic fields. That's why the Earth has such a strong magnetic field. Our core is not cooled, but Mars has because it's a smaller planet. And so without its magnetic field, it's lost most of its atmosphere because it has no way to stop the solar wind, which are charged particles that the sun produces. From basically, what happens is these ions smack into, they go wham, bam, and they smack into the atmosphere of planets. And if there's no magnetic field to capture those ions, they interact with the existing atmosphere and actually energize the gases too much, so that they can escape the gravitational pull of the planet. And that's what happened to Mars. Over, a couple billion years, its atmosphere got stripped by the solar wind. And so now there's like not enough atmosphere. I mean, imagine like not having an ozone layer at all. Like walking outside, you would get skin cancer. Well, that's kind of what we have going on with Mars. It's not especially great. So hopefully they find ways to, like, mainly if you lived on Mars, like you should probably stay underground most of the time, because then you would have enough stuff between you and space to prevent like the worst cosmic radiation from giving you cancers. But no one really wants to live underground, so they're gonna have to come up with something. It's just I don't know what that solution would actually be. One possibility is just getting very good at making large magnetic fields. Let's see, I have all but the expertise field manipulation. For instance, with like, you could actually make a pretty effective magnetic shield if you had fusion power. Why was I here again? I wanted to check our technology. Okay, so just making sure that I'm getting as high of a buff I can on different things. And so far, like I don't have a voidcraft or an industry thing. I don't have a computer thing, so that's fine. Okay. I'm going to change. I want you to survey and then go down this way. Like so. We are looking for some first contact. So hopefully. Usually a nebula, I've said that before, but it seems like if you spawn as a human player near a nebula, that's the first place I look for other aliens. I don't know why. It's just how the algorithm seems to work.
System survey complete.
I'm not going to spread down here just yet, even though we do want the archaeology site. Otherwise, it's not a great system. And I am hoping to see a few more planets to colonize before I commit the influence to that. The other reason, so I'm not doing like the sacrifices immediately, and it's a question of influence. It uses a lot of influence. This, like, even more than you would use to spread, like, I have to wait till it's fully surveyed, but yeah, it uses a ton of influence, which is kind of annoying. You would think it would do the opposite, right? You wouldn't spend, like, your reputation. It would enhance your reputation, like, through fear, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But, okay, so we already built this one. So we're doing okay in terms of most everything. I want to get more alloys going.
System survey.
So interesting.
Complete.
Upkeep 2, we get 2 metallurgists.
Anomaly found.
Sure. Research it. It's kind of tricky. Like, what do I want to actually build here for buildings? See, I don't feel like the Alloy Foundry is all that good of a building anymore. Kind of shockingly. It's just that this feels better. This feels much better. Because it's covering your housing needs. So, why does this building still exist? It doesn't give me any housing. Housing is very hard to get. I don't know. And you can't spam it? Let's see, produces 9 versus produces 5. I mean, I guess it's more efficient in terms of you're paying 400 instead of 500 for it. But when I do this, it covers all my housing for those workers, and I get, 5 and 7. And I do need consumer goods, so I think I'm building this. Lacking, yeah, it is a little bit more expensive though. So let's wait for it and then build and be happy. It's gonna take me a little bit getting used to, I think, to adjust to. Ooh, I do like that we have some nice choke points around here. Pretty handy. I'm still getting used to the flow of the game after 3.0. It's a little bit different, obviously. Like it used to be the first thing I would be building is buildings, but they don't feel as useful in some ways.
Systems survey.
Let's do overwhelming force first, because I feel like that might be a little bit better. Let's see, where are we at? It's been about, 40 minutes? Okay, I'm just checking the time, I think I'll keep going until we get, like, first contact, and then we'll save, like, all the first contact events for, next time, because it took a little bit of time. We definitely spent a lot of our energy on talking about Star Trek and how amazing it is. Yeah, and see, like, even with, like, this extra food, how much food do I need? This is crazy that I'm running out. Did I not build
Anomaly
one?
found.
That's too hard. Leave it be. Are people not? Oh, okay. I did build one. People are being dumb though. They don't want to work as farmers. Okay. I don't know. And maybe this is just a problem for our particular start because when you start like this, you end up with a lot of instability, and that seems to be affecting people. So, but yeah, like, this planet is doomed, so we shouldn't invest too much in infrastructure. That's why I'm kind of just focusing on getting just enough food to cover what we need, and then the rest is going to be all about getting minerals, energy, and industrial districts going. I mean, I'll give them I'll give them like one entertainment building so that the amenities aren't a complete disaster, but, and this is, it does have a clerk job. Okay. One clerk job. Fantastic. Here we go. So, we have made first contact with mysterious aliens in the Drisk system. For now, we've codenamed them Beta aliens. Until we can find out more about them. If they possess a language, we should decipher it so we can assess how much of a threat they pose. Interesting. First contact. News of alien ships humming through the ether has reached Kazan, in many ways ending the first chapter in the book of the Yokohan's Chosen's bid for a stellar empire. Alright, well, let's take a look at these aliens, huh? Do they just hop in and hop out?
Scientific breakthrough achieved.
I'd be scared too. I'm coming for you. I'm very hungry. Scat small? Scat small? Skitty kitty hall? Okay, that joke is silly. Let's see what's going on with the black hole down here. Very good. And I should probably let's get going on this. Send an envoy there. The other thing is, like nowadays, when you make first contact, I immediately recommend building a fleet. Let's see, turn off auto generate because who cares? Why do I recommend this? Well, you might need it, because you can get in a war, like, straight out the gate. It's pretty intense. Now the question is, I think, gosh, I kind of want to go with Missile Boat again. So we have pre-selected our final. By the way, I'm going to do whatever I can this time to be ready for the final size 25 crisis. Hopefully, I'll be better prepared this time. You know, I'm not going to say how it turned out in the last one, but the final couple episodes should be coming out fairly soon. I'm just going to say I was very surprised by how difficult the size 25 crisis actually is. So, you know, that was a good experience, and I feel like we need to get ready for it this time. And since we know that it's going to be Unbidden, who are all about shields, and that's like it. They just have shields. I'm thinking we need to get weapons that will pop shields quickly and that can go around shields. So that is kind of the same build we had last time. That's coil guns, that's missiles, that's strike craft. Which, you know, I kind of want to show off a different build, but I also don't, like, I want to build in a way that will be useful for the endgame crisis. Like at least invest in those technologies over the energy ones, because energy is going to be useless against the undead. They have some of the strongest shields in the game. We literally would do no damage to them with energy weapons. Whereas with coil guns, with missiles, with autocannons, with, you know, that kind of thing, we would actually do a pretty good job. So I'm thinking I will actually build my fleet out to reflect that. Which means going with like some missiles. Look at our fantastic. I love how blocky it is. Oh god, it's great. This is so good. What a great design. So ours is being better and better at ship design, by the way. Like better and better. Cool. Anyway, so we got this, and the and I mean they were good to begin with, but man, I love the Necroid ships and I love these ships. I think they both look fantastic. All right, what are we gonna call you? The Trocon class. I'm just gonna like Jowlosk. How about that? Okay, Jowlosk. I like it. Alright, and we can delete the auto Corvette because they're gross. And let's go to Fleet Manager. Not that Corvette. You're now this Corvette. And you're gonna need an upgrade, and I'm gonna pump this up to 10. We'll upgrade first. Let me look at where are we on tech. Okay. I don't think I've researched any tech yet. No, it's still using the basic stuff. I do though. If I go here, I already got this one. So ship build speed and the costs are already down. I would love to stack that before building all these Corvettes, but I think we're gonna need it sooner rather than later to deal with the beta aliens, whoever they may be. So, on that note, we're near our time. I am going to. Okay, we'll end with this.
Our ships have been made superior.
Excellent. A strange ruin show no sign of damage beyond neglect. Homes, factories, buildings of unknown use. They all stand empty and abandoned. Where did everyone go? It seems likely that a large building at the center of the colony may hold the answers. Investigate it. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. I think, though, this is going to be
anomaly found.
How we end it. Oh, I didn't really want that guy to... I wanted him to keep scanning. Oh, well. But yeah, this seems like a good ending point. and we'll definitely get. I'm gonna try to put out maybe 2 episodes of Nemesis next week. I don't know. The schedule's all weird because we're doing these competitions for the Berlin build off and all that. Yeah, I do want to get more Nemesis out. I need to finish up the old one that we've already done. I've encountered a serious problem with Weissenbrook. Sadly, I am going to have to install a mod. You will see why in an upcoming episode, but yeah, I made a little goof, and I can't fix it without a mod. Shockingly, I know. It's just, I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. It frustrates me a little bit, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta not be set. So you just gotta roll with whatever you get dealt. So our Vanilla Games channel is actually going to install a mod. I know it's a travesty, but yeah. Let's end on this note because we saw a fancy comment. A light was seen moving in the night sky of Kazan, its gentle arc standing in stark contrast to the slow revolution of the stars. The citizens of Kazan see it as proof of recognition by the powers that be, a subtle blessing of our cause. See? They like our sacrifices. In fact, maybe I'll sacrifice someone just to celebrate. What do you think? The only issue with the sacrifices is it costs 90 influence, and they last 5 years. So you really, really want it to matter when you do it. Click that button. So I think right now, I don't know, we're not making an enormous amount of energy or minerals, but it might be enough now that getting an extra 5% wouldn't be awful. So it's something to think about. Plus, it will help us with our food situation, I think. Less greedy people trying to eat everything. Anyway, though, for now, we are going to end on this note with some extra happiness. Everyone understands that these sacrifices are not in vain, and that we are indeed blessed by the powers that be. Very nice. Anyway, cheers, y'all. Bye.